Hi, my name is Steven Zhu and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be talking to you about 5 different hobbies that have changed my life, and hopefully it can inspire you to change yours as well. Everyone needs a hobby, right? To alleviate boredom or just to have something else to do. But did you know that if you find the right hobby, it can change you? Choosing the right hobbies and sticking with them over a long period of time can substantially change who you become. Here are 5 hobbies that I've done over the long term that have really changed my life. So my first hobby that changed my life is hiking. I've lived in large metropolitan cities all my life, from LA to San Francisco to now Seattle. For the first city, I didn't do really a lot of hiking. That was because I was in the depths of the city, in the suburbs. Frankly, I just wasn't around a lot of natural areas. So hiking for me really started picking up when I moved to San Francisco. There was a lot of wide open spaces and redwood trees. So it was just an amazing experience to hike in a place that had a lot of nature. I really started to like hiking when I moved to Seattle, or Washington in general, has so many lakes, mountains, and hiking trails throughout the entire state that it was just like a huge playground. As a person who works in the office and has a lot of sedentary routines, I don't get out of the chair much. I sit when I'm at work, I sit when I'm at home, I sit a lot. And quite frankly, hiking has been one of the best ways to get off my butt and out and about in the world. Since the pandemic started, I've been hiking almost on a weekly basis to get my body moving and my legs strengthened. Not only do I enjoy these experiences hiking alone sometimes or with my wife, but definitely hiking with my friends have helped me a lot. The conversations that we have, the stories that we tell, and the camaraderie and just being with them for hours and hours at a time helped develop our friendship even more during the pandemic. Over the long term, hiking has really helped me to get out in nature, calm down when times are stressful, and also create a sense of bonding with my friends and family. Even if it's just a 15-minute hike around the park, it has helped me to calm down, and it's helped me to relax and overall better my mental mood when times are stressed. Second hobby that really changed my life is hot yoga. Now, I've always liked yoga, but I didn't really get into it until I started hot yoga with Get Zen. The background is I was looking for a way to get healthy, exercise, stretch out my lower back. And I was looking on Groupon and I found Get Zen had a deal, $40 for 10 classes. And I thought, what a great way to, have a cheap deal and then get 10 classes for practically nothing. So I started taking a few of these classes and I realized, oh my God, this is more than what I was expecting. The yoga teachers were so into the class. They were about community, they were about inspiring others. It was just a great emotional ride on top of the rigorous exercise that you're doing. So these rooms would be at, above 115 degrees Fahrenheit. And so you would take a typical yoga class, put it in a hot room, and it would be, X times more rigorous on your body than a normal yoga class. I love the sweating. I love the feeling of being so broken at the end of a 1-hour class and then picking yourself back up to feeling better again. I not only had a physical transformation through Get Zen by being stronger, but I had a community around me that was supporting me. Not only were the teachers engaged, but the yogis that were surrounding me, they were also really, really nice and helpful and gave me a sense of belonging. I was able to rope some of my other friends into this, and they found the experience also amazing as well. So this yoga community really helped me form bonds. I went to a lot of events and birthday celebrations with the yoga community. I really felt that it was a way to connect with other people through this community that I really didn't understand when I first started. And what was crazy was that I started this hobby through a Groupon, and I expected to not continue with it after the Groupon ended. I would recommend Get Zen Yoga, but sadly during the pandemic, business dried up and they really didn't make it through. The teachers all really scattered to different yoga studios. The community has scattered a little bit because we haven't had regular yoga sessions. So it's been really difficult to try to get the hot yoga community back up. But once this pandemic is over, maybe during the summer, I can't wait to get back into hot yoga and experience the sense of community that I have been longing for the past year and a half. So my third hobby is joining an improv group. When I first came to Seattle, I didn't have a lot of friends, and I really struggled to make the connections at work in the beginning. My friend down in San Francisco, he suggested joining an improv group. There are only 2 or 3 improv groups up in Seattle, and so I joined Unexpected Productions. I didn't really feel comfortable because I hadn't done something like theater in years. I decided to give it a go, and I signed up for 10 classes. It was an amazing experience. I instantly, within a class or 2, made long-term friends that have lasted for 6 years. So for the next 2 years, I ended up meeting a lot more friends of improvisers, and also performed at Marketplace Theater. The experience has been one of transformation for me. From being very nervous on that first day and being very conscientious about what I was saying, to being way more confident in how I express myself and being able to think on the fly in certain situations where I would normally have to go into my brain and dig out things, and it would take, a really long time for me to think up the words. This has resulted in gained confidence from both at work and during social situations. I gained the ability to project better and also enunciate my words. But not only that, it allowed me to be more natural in front of other people and also just have fun. I mean, there were many, many times in improv class where I was just laughing my butt off. It was an amazing place to just relax and have fun. So I would highly recommend anybody that's even thinking about improv or improvising on stage to try it out and have some fun. I'll put a link down below to the place I went to get my improv training. Unexpected Productions is absolutely incredible. Although I'm not sponsored by them, I love their people and the classes are absolutely amazing. So if anybody's in the Seattle area, go to Unexpected Productions. The fourth hobby that changed my life is traveling internationally. Now, as a kid, I used to never travel at all, not domestically or internationally. The very few instances that I was out of the country was going to visit my relatives in China. It was an experience that was so rare that I really didn't understand the concept of international traveling or how it would change my life for the better. My first experience with international travel was when I had a research assistantship in Japan. I was there for 3 months, and while I was studying, I also had a chance to glean the culture, the people, and the environmental surroundings of Japan. And let me tell you, it was an amazing experience. After being in America for 23 years and to go and jump into another culture for 3 months, it was almost night and day. The little things that Americans did versus the Japanese were subtle, but were profoundly interesting to me. I'm not talking about driving on the other side of the road. I'm talking about the subtle interactions between people and how communication styles were so different between Americans versus Japanese. After the initial adjustment, which sucked, I really became acquainted with the Japanese culture and I started to mimic and do things to be more inclusive with the Japanese. It helped me to realize that there was a different way to live besides the American way. And I found some of those practices really nice and helpful, and other practices really strange and difficult to implement. As I started to gain more exposure throughout the years, going to Switzerland, going to Ireland, going to South Africa, all these places taught me a little bit about how other people live their life around the globe. And I became really fascinated by how other people did things. And I wanted to take the best of every culture and integrate it into my life, whether that be food, whether that be practices, whether that be communication styles with other people. There was a host of things that I learned from other people that I wouldn't have gotten had I just stayed in America all the time. It really honed in on the fact that everybody is trying to accomplish the same thing in the world. I mean, getting a job, providing for their family, living a happy life. It's oftentimes how they go about that goal is what's curious to me. And then traveling internationally has also helped me to refine the skill set of planning and logistics, especially when traveling outside of the US. Oftentimes, you have to compromise or you have to give yourself margin because you just don't know what unexpected thing is going to happen. So you have to plan that in. And the last hobby I want to talk about that's really changed my life is watching YouTube. When I first started, watching YouTube was entertainment. It was background noise when I was doing my homework. But as YouTube started getting bigger and bigger and the audience grew and the content creators on this platform grew, it became this place where you can learn about cooking, editing videos, finance, anything and everything under the sun. I would find myself searching for very specific topics on YouTube and being able to find a video of a person explaining it in 3 to 5 minutes. The same information I would have to go through books, Wikipedia pages, articles. It was just highly inefficient for that one specific thing. YouTube has replaced my TV. I watch everything on YouTube now, and it has become this platform where I not only watch the shows and news over YouTube, and now it gives me this window into creators on YouTube that opens up a huge possibility of new content. And so the hobby of watching YouTube videos has become my hobby of creating YouTube videos. YouTube has easily been the best hobby I've had in the last 10 years. I have learned more on YouTube, I've spent more time on YouTube, and YouTube has changed my life based on what it has incorporated into me as a person. It has become a staple in my everyday life. Without YouTube, I don't know who I would be as a person. So those are 5 hobbies that have changed my life. In a way, these hobbies over the long term has shaped who I am as a person. I really recommend that anybody who's interested try one of these hobbies. I never thought that when I first started these hobbies that it would become such an integral part of my life and generate the kind of community, friendships, and learning opportunities. So what's a hobby that's changed your life? Let me know in a comment down below. And as always, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.